Hello, welcome to the Okie Outdoor Gear Review. My name is Roy, and today we're at Lake Stanley Draper here in Oklahoma City. We're going to do a review of a pack that I've been using for about a year now, and we're going to go over its specifications and the things I like about it, and the pros and cons of this pack. So this is the pack we're going to be talking about today. This is the Teton Sports Grand 5500 90-liter backpack. I've been using this for about the past year. We're going to talk about the quality of this pack, the price point for it. So I've used this, like I said, for about the past year. This is a hoss. This is a so far, I have really liked this pack. It's extremely comfortable, and we'll start going over some of the specifications of it here in a second. But for me, I'm a larger guy. I'm 6'1", 300 pounds. I'm not the smallest of guys out there, but excuse me. This pack, so far, I have no complaints, but we'll go over some of the specifications of it here. And I've got a little cheat sheet here of some stuff that I put down. So the materials that this is made out of is a 420 denier, of course, black polyester Oxford. The dimensions are 34 inches by 15 inches by 17 inches. The pack weight is 6 pounds, and we'll talk about that pack weight here in just a moment. The volume capacity on this is 90 liters. The top section can expand, so you could probably increase that by another 10, maybe 15 liters. This pack, just because of the sheer size of it, when you get above 65 liters, those packs are considered, long-term packs. So if you're going out for like a week, 2 weeks, anything over, maybe a 3 or 4 day stay, because you got to carry more gear, more food, more water, stuff like that. And I'll explain why I chose the 90 liter. This is water bladder ready. This will hold up to a 3 liter water bladder. It has an internal frame. The water bladder does not come with it. You have to purchase one of those and install it. If you're like me, I think I have 10 or 15 of them laying around from various packs that I've bought over the years. It does have a separate sleeping bag compartment that we'll talk about also. The torso length on this ranges from 16 inches to 22, and we'll also talk about that. The waist belt range is 30 inches to 48, so there's a really large range there, and I'll get a little more in depth on that. And this is made in Vietnam. So that's basically the specs. I know, polyesters are heavier than your non or ripstop nylons. I've had backpacks that, are built for lighter weight. And to me, the durability is there in the beginning. And there's nothing wrong with lighter packs. This is just a big pack, and I'm a big guy. The reason I chose a 90 liter is because I am a big guy. My gear is bigger than a normal guy that, say, is 5'8", 5'9". My jacket size is a 2X. I wear a size 13 shoe. My pants are bigger. My snow gear's bigger, so I needed a bigger pack. I like to camp a lot in the wintertime, and so This, you know, for the winter time with hot tent camping and stuff like that, this will carry my stove, my tent, you know, everything that I need to go out into the woods, and it carries it comfortably. I was really impressed with this. I did a lot of research on packs when I was looking, and you know, the price ranges out there are just, you can get on Amazon, of course, and buy a pack for $20 or $30. Some of those, there's quality in there, you know, for the price point. But you know, I chose this. I was looking at the Kelty series, but honestly, things I was hearing about Kelty, just, I wasn't very impressed or motivated. It didn't motivate me enough to purchase. Now, I did do a lot of research on the Teton, and I know at some point a lot of people were saying that their quality had went down. I haven't experienced that with this pack. I mean, all the stitching is fantastic. I mean, there's not a loose thread on this thing, nothing out of place. I mean, all the buckles work great. This thing is feature rich. This thing has a lot of features. So we'll dive into that right now. And excuse me, I'm a little under the weather, so please excuse the hacking and sniffing. So we'll start here on the frame of the pack. And so of course you have, you know, your two shoulder straps. You have your sternum strap, which is adjustable for your height. And that also has a bright safety whistle on it. I've never had to use the whistle, but I mean, it's good to have there. So on each strap on both sides, you have some elastic straps. You have a D-ring on each side. And then at the top of each strap, your load lifters attached to the pack. And this is how you kind of adjust your load to fit your movements and stuff. The waist belt, and of course the adjustment for your torso length is crazy easy. All the buckles and everything are super easy to you know, get to. I know there are some systems out there that I've seen that are crazy simple. I know one backpack, they have a system that you actually put the backpack and just kind of adjust it on the fly. This one you do have to, you know, undo some Velcro and adjust, but this kind of, as you can see, will kind of slip up and down, you know, to fit your torso length. The padding on these straps, I would say is probably about 1 inch thick and kind of tapers down, so you don't, you know, get a kind of a push point, if you want to call that, you know, down here where the strap tapers to fit your body. The shoulder straps are extremely comfortable. The waist belt and the lumbar, when I wear this pack, you can visibly see, even with my love handles, a large gap. You know, of course, the padding makes contact, but there is a large gap for air to pass through for breathability. Any pack you wear, you're going to sweat. My wife, she has a Gregory, and you know, those are you know, I'd say definitely a step up from this brand, but there's nothing wrong with this. This pack has performed just as well as her Gregory. I've owned Osprey backpacks. This thing has performed as well, if not better, for the size of pack that this is and the amount of gear that this will carry, and carry it comfortably. So on your waist belt, you have a wishbone. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. Maybe you can see it better on this one. So you have a wishbone design here. And this is extremely comfortable because this kind of spreads apart and will kind of, you know, taper to fit your body, you know. So I'm a large guy, I've got love handles. So this kind of tapers around my love handles, and it's really comfortable. Now something that I do wear, and it's just a little more comfortable for me, is you can buy a waist belt expander because I do have a belly. And so where my waist belt's not cutting into me or making my clothes feel weird, I do use an expander for this, and it just makes the pack feel a little bit more comfortable on me. You can choose to do that or not, but it just kind of, I found that the waist belt would kind of fall and find its own spot, you know, around my stomach. Um, but so on the waist belts, on which would be your right side if you're wearing the pack, excuse me, it does have a pocket on this side. And something else I liked about this pack is that on a lot of packs, they'll have pockets on the waist belt, but they're so small you can't put anything in it. Like I was looking at, I want to say it was a Gregory, but the pocket was so small that really all I could put in there was a GoPro or maybe like a headlamp. So this pocket is large enough. So I've got baseball gloves for hands. You know, I wear like a size 2X glove, and I can put my whole hand, my whole fist in that pocket. So, you know, I can put quite a bit of gear that I want, you know, readily available in this pocket, and it's usable, and it's not hard to get to, you know, because it's just right here. Now I do wear like a chest rig for items that, you know, I really want to be able to grab quickly and not have to take my backpack off. And so, you know, I do wear a chest rig, and that'll be a later video. I'll kind of introduce that product, and we'll do a review on it. So on the left side, if you're wearing the pack, this one has gear loops. So it has 2 gear loops, and this you could, you know, hang a axe or, you know, a hatchet, or what I do is I'll put carabiners on here, and, you know, if I'm wearing a ball cap and it gets cold or whatever, I can put my ball cap on here real quick. I don't have to ask somebody to, hey, would you throw this on the back of my pack, or sorry. But these are actually, I really didn't think that these would be used a whole lot when I first bought the pack, but I actually really do use these. So just for example, you know, if you wanted to, you know, I have a hatchet here. This is one of my camping hatchets. You can just slip that right into there, and it holds it really nicely. And this has kind of a taper on the handle there, so, you know, you got to kind of slip it in at an angle. So this is another one of my camping, this tomahawk, but this is something else that I sometimes take out with me on adventures, but this one slips in there a little easier. But, you know, you could use these for you know, anything. Get creative with it, and but, you know, this is just something that I really didn't think I'd use very much, and I actually do. But like I said, I usually put carabiners on there, and, you know, I'll just hang stuff from my my belt. So moving down the pack here to the bottom, this is typically where a lot of your rain covers are, you know, kept. And this is where I do keep my rain cover, and we'll go over the rain cover for this. But what I liked about this is also in this pocket, there is a gear loop, a neoprene. I would say it's probably about 8 inches long, gear loop. So if you have a bedroll, or, you know, those closed cell foam mats or something, you wanted to hang it from the bottom of your pack, you can very easily put this in there, and it has the buckles. You can cinch it down. What I like about this, instead of just 2 straps that they very easily could have done to cut a little bit of weight, but honestly, this works great. This just holds whatever you put in here way better than just 2 straps. You know, I'll see a lot of people strap something on and they get a couple of miles into the trail and it's just kind of working its way. This neoprene grabs onto stuff and you can really cinch it down. And I love that about this. I tend to try to keep most of my gear on the inside of my pack, and because this is such a large pack, I'm able to do so. But I like options on things, but this does get used. And your rain cover also goes in there, and we'll talk about the rain cover that comes with this pack. Here on the top, you have a floating lid. It is removable, but you have to wait. I'm sorry, I might have just misled you there. Yeah, yes, I remember. This is removable. It is free floating, so it has adjustable straps on the back and the front, you know, to be able to cinch that down. But this, you can raise the level. So like I said, on the inside of the pack, and I'll show you that here in a minute, you can kind of expand it and you can adjust your lid to fit it correctly for that expansion. So here on the lid, you have, and this would be right by the back of your head wearing the pack, you have a zippered compartment, which is the full, just one big open pocket. The zippers on this, I mean, are smooth. They're not YKK, but these, honestly, they're smooth as YKK, or if not smoother. I've never had, and they're self-healing. So I've never had an issue with any of the zippers on this, and the little pull tabs on them. I like the way they do them. It's kind of a smaller gauge paracord style braided line, and it has a molded, I wouldn't say that's silicone, but a very rubberized plastic pull, which fits real good. Fits my big sausage fingers fantastic, and they're comfortable. So, you know, you can just hook it. They're easy to hook. They're easy to find. So that's that main compartment on the top. And then here on top also, you have some more gear loops. And these are just 2 straps. And you could, you know, like I said, put a bedroll on top if you'd rather it be on top of your pack, or, you know, whatever you want to put up here. This I tend to use for like a puffer jacket or something like that. If I just want to throw it on my pack real quick, I'll just kind of drape it over and buckle it and cinch it down. So coming back here to the back of the pack, so you have your adjustable straps here for your lid. You just undo those, and then your lid flips up. So this is another feature that I love about this pack. So here, between your lid and the opening to the main compartment of your pack, here's another neoprene gear loop. So if you have something, say, that you don't want really to get wet or anything like that, you don't, for whatever reason, don't have room in this pack. This pack has so much room. Anything that you wanted to put up here, you could cinch it down and then adjust your lid, and it would actually cover it. Now I have like thrown my tripod in here real quick, and it'll kind of stick out the sides, which doesn't hurt anything, because this thing will just, it has elastic right here. I would say about halfway of the length here, and this just will kind of conform around it as you cinch it down. But this is another added feature that I loved, you know. But if you wanted to lighten the weight of this pack, you could remove both of these. Now you would have to cut it to remove it, and I don't really like modifying my gear like that because it tends to make the gear not last as long. But okay, so here on the inside of the lid, you have another zipper pocket, and this one is just as large as the top pocket. So this lid will hold a buttload of gear. And you know, typically what I put in here are some you know, first aid, some food items, something that I really don't need to get to really quick. This is my one of my quick access pockets here on the top. And this is one that I might need it, I might not need it, but I do have really quick access to it. And like I said, I do carry a chest rig for the items that I really need to get to quick. So I wear glasses because I'm blind up. I can't see very well up close. So if I'm reading maps and stuff like that, you know, I keep my glasses and my glass kit, you know, in there with, you know, flashlights, and that's a whole nother review. So yeah, this is fully adjustable for the height and everything. So here on this side of the pack, and again, this, if you're wearing the pack, this would be your right side. You have 2 compression straps. You have one right above the mesh pocket here on the side, and then you have one up here towards the lid. And basically that is for, like, you know, if you want to put, you know, say something like this in here, you put it down in there, and you can use this compression strap to secure that so it doesn't come out of there. It has one of these pockets on each side, and these are huge. They expand, like you can put a lot of gear. I've had like 2 Nalgene's in here, my water filter, a rain jacket. This is a 48-ounce Nalgene, and you can easily get 2 of those in there, and then this will still pull out. Now, I wouldn't suggest, you know, because elastic over time will wear out. But you know, I wouldn't suggest, you know, really overloading this. And, you know, it is a mesh pocket. It's only as durable as the mesh. It's not Kevlar or, you know, made out of Superman's hair or anything like that. But it is a huge pocket, and the elastic on it really does keep stuff. So, you know, I'll put these Nalgene's in here, and then this compression strap, the loop on the lid on these Nalgene's, I'll run that compression strap through there if I know I'm not going to need that water for a while. But this elastic really keeps these in there really nicely. So we'll kind of, and like I said, there's one of these on each side. So one of the other reasons that I picked this pack was, you know, most conventional packs, you only have one point of access to get to your gear. Now on this pack, you actually have 3 points of access, actually 4, if you want to count the sleeping bag compartment. But you have 4 points of access to your gear inside this pack. And I'll show you those here in just a second. So another feature of this pack is it comes with a removable day pack, and it just buckles on here to the top of the, or to the back of the pack. It kind of, on here, it kind of looks like this is actually maybe a pocket, but this is actually a removable backpack. And it basically has 4 buckles. And then this removes. So I thought this was a really cool feature. This doesn't weigh very much. I mean, you're probably looking at ounces, you know, empty. But sometimes I use this, sometimes I don't. But what I've found that this works really good for is my poop kit. So, you know, if I'm out hiking, I'll put my toiletries and my trowel in here. And if I need to, you know, go talk to the bunnies, This is easily removable, and you know, I can just pull this strap out, connect it, throw it over my shoulder. I usually just kind of carry it in my hand. But I mean, you could use it for anything. You could use it, you know, for foraging. You know, if you run up on some blueberries or something like that, you could, you know, throw all that stuff in here. But, you know, if you didn't want to use this, it doesn't hurt the usage of the pack if this isn't on it. So you could always leave this at home if you think it's excessive or anything like that. But I thought it was pretty handy to just have all my poop kit in here. That way I could just pull this off of the bag real quick and take it with me, bring it back, clip it on, and you're down the road. So the big feature that I liked about this pack was, like I said, it has 4 points of access to the pack itself. And we'll go over a few of those here. So it kind of looks like this is a pocket. Now on the other side of the pack, you have that same pocket design there. So on the right side of the pocket, if you're wearing the pack, this isn't a pocket, but this is side access to the interior of the pack. So you can, you know, get items without having to open the top of your pack and move a bunch of stuff around. Or what I think is really handy is when I pack my bag, things that I think I might need to get to quick on the trail or something, I'll put towards this side. That way, if I'm camping or, you know, hiking with somebody, I can say, hey, would you get in that right zipper and, you know, grab the orange waterproof bag or, you know, something. Or I'll just take the pack off and I can access those items on this side. So on the left side, that same, looks like it would probably be the same thing. This side, it is a pocket. It's not it's a long pocket. It's not like really big, and the more gear, what I wish they would have done is put a pleat in this. That way it's one of those pockets that once your gear's in your bag, this can sometimes get kind of tight. So a lot of times what I'll use this for are just flat items. You know, you could use it for maps or something like that, but like I have a little, like a silky folding saw. It fits in there perfect. You know, you use your imagination. You could put anything in there, but it's just kind of a flat file, I would say file kind of pocket. But I wish they would have pleated it so you could maybe put, you know, maybe some larger items. But, you know, there's designs, the process in which they design this stuff is, and I see why they do it, is because I used to use like a lot of tactical backpacks, and those things have straps and pockets, and I mean, they have so much organization in them. But when I used them, it was like, you know, if I opened a pocket and there was an empty spot in there, I felt like something needed to go in there. So I was just way overpacking. Now I believe in redundancy. You know, I see a lot of these guys hiking and doing these through hikes with like 10 pounds of gear, and they're in the middle of nowhere, you know, and they have like a little Swiss Army knife that, you know, I probably would have used in the Boy Scouts, like, you know, when I was 7 or 8 years old. And their boo-boo kit or their first aid kit is, you know, basically a couple of Band-Aids and some alcohol swabs, and they get away with it. I get it. You know, a lot of these guys are extremely seasoned hikers, but not that I you know, bring a whole pharmacy with me, but, you know, I have a tourniquet, and, you know, I'll have some, just a more extensive first aid kit. Things have happened to me in the woods that if I didn't have the gear that I had on me, I very easily, you know, it could have been bad. You know, I've cut myself pretty extensively. And if it wasn't for the gear that I had, it could have went a completely different direction, and the end result could have been bad. But so yeah, but so on this side, that is a pocket. The right side, that's side access to the interior pack. So we went over the top access, or, you know, this has top access. We went over this side access. So this zipper here on the back, this is also access to your pack. And I love this. So it opens up kind of clamshell style, and you can get to the whole interior of the pack here. And I love this without having to deal with pulling my lid loose. And I can, and this, honestly, this entrance gets used more than the top, just because of the accessibility. I can, you know, lay my pack down, lay it on a picnic bench, or lay it on the ground, or hang it on a tree, and I have access to everything. So, and it has your basic top access. You have 2 pull cords with really nice plastic keepers on the end of the cord, with your spring-loaded tensioner there. So you have one here on the outside rim of the pack, and then you have this one that opens up your main compartment. And this is where I say you can expand this backpack another 7 to 8 inches in height, and your lid will adjust to fit on top of that. So if you had, this I think would actually expand out to probably 100 to 110 liters of available space. So yeah, that's your conventional top entrance to the pack. Sorry about the airplanes here. We are just north of Tinker Air Force Base. So like I said, you do have a dedicated pocket for your sleep system. Move this out of the way. There is a zippered flap that you can unzip, and if you want to not have a dedicated sleeping bag compartment, you can open it up to basically just one large pocket on the pack. And I'll show you that here in just a moment. Got stuff blowing around here. Some of the research I did before I bought this pack was, one of the main complaints was the zipper on this compartment, because of the way this will hold a huge sleep system. So I use, and a lot of you guys will probably laugh, but I still use the MMS sleep system, the military modular sleep system. For some reason, I just can't get away from it. Just the versatility of it is crazy. But anyways, so that, I'm sure everybody knows, is like 2 sleeping bags and a bivy in a compression sack. Now I've used it so much over the years, I can get it compressed down, really small. Now, only in the winter do I either use both of the sleeping bags together or all three of the implements, you know, spring and fall, and I'll use, you know, the light bag on it or whatever. But anyways, this will hold a MMS sleep system. Now, you know, it'll take a little work to get it in there. It's just not going to drop down in there, but that's how big this pocket is. But a lot of people have complained about the zipper on this being hard to access, and it at times can be, just because of the shape of this, because it kind of bulges out. So all the material kind of has a taper to it. But I mean, if you're smart about it and just kind of play with it, like I played with it for, you know, maybe an hour or so, trying to come up with how to, you know, unzip it. It unzips perfectly fine. I've never had an issue. I've never like got angry at it or been like, why ain't this opening, or, you know, why can't I get this closed? You just, you're not going to be able to grab it and just, you know. But honestly, I mean, a lot of the zippers on these packs, you know, but you do, it does take two hands. I will give it that. If this pack has one con, it's that zipper. But to me, it's not a deal breaker at all. It's just very minute. And it has these awesome little pull cords on these zippers. So yeah, so that is the sleep system compartment. So here on the bottom, like I said, you have that Velcro pocket with that neoprene gear sleeve. And you also have other straps here and buckles that you can buckle more gear onto. You know, of course, you pull this out. Two of the buckles are allotted for this to be used with this, but you know, you don't have to use this. You can buckle something else on there. You know, I guess if it has the corresponding buckles to the pack. So in this pocket is, like I said, is where your rain cover. Now they did something a little different on this pack. I like it. I don't use it for what it's intended for, but it is a good bit of gear. I do use it regularly. So the rain cover, it isn't, you know, the kind of clamshell elastic cover that typically comes with a backpack. What Teton did is they went a step further, and you get a poncho slash tarp slash tent footprint slash poncho. So, and this thing is massive. I'll put the dimensions right down here of this. I can't remember right off the top of my head. I think it's like, I would say like 4 foot by 8 foot. But you have your poncho hood here. Now, the reason I don't use this as a poncho is I'm just not a poncho guy. Ponchos, they work great. I have ponchos, and I will use them. I have used them in the past. But what I found for me is, because it's like wearing a dress, I like to be able to see my feet. You know, like I said, I'm a big guy. I don't have the balance of a guy that weighs, you know, 140 pounds and, you know, little dude or whatever. But I have to be able to see my feet for placement. I like to. That just helps me ensure that I'm not going to twist an ankle or, you know, get bit by a snake. Now, this you could wear it. I'm not going to put it on. You know how a poncho works. But And this will cover you and the pack. I mean, it will cover this huge pack. But what I like about what they did with this is they went a step further, and you have these eyelets that are sewn on, and sewn very well. This is a non-rip or ripstop nylon, and but you have these eyelets that are sewn onto it, and you can use this for a tarp, an emergency shelter. I have used this and made a small shelter out of it, and in an emergency, it would get you by. You know, I don't quite fit under it as well as a smaller guy would, but it works. I mean, it does. You just cinch up the hood to get that where it'd be, you know, waterproof, or, you know, whatever you'd like that. And then I tend to use this more like as a ground sheet for a tent, or I'll put this out if we're at camp and stake it out or something and use it, you know, if it's muddy at camp or something like that. That way I can kneel down on the ground, or you know, anything like that. But and this, I'll put the weight of this. I don't know it right off the top of my head. I would say it's probably a pound. So that is included in the pack weight. So you could not use this, leave it at home. Now you've dropped your pack weight by a pound. Actually, I think it might be a little bit more than a pound. So if you wanted to, you could leave both of these at home if it's something that you didn't want to use, and drop the weight of your pack. This I do use, though. I like this. I like this too, but I'm just not a poncho guy. But this does work as a ground sheet for a lot of my smaller tents. And like in my hot tent, I'll use this on the ground, and I'll put, you know, my sleep system over this as a moisture barrier, or my cot, or, you know, whatever the instance. I'll use this as a ground sheet. So this is usually always in my truck. And if I do take it as a ground sheet, you know, this will get packed in that lower compartment. So moving to the interior space of the pack, I believe I've went over everything on the pack on the exterior. And of course, on the left side, you do have two compression straps, top and bottom, starting just above the mesh pocket. Now, these pockets aren't angled towards the backpacker. So I've seen a lot of companies are starting to make it where you can just, you know, push your Nalgene in to make it accessible. Now, these are accessible. You put it in there, I can reach back and grab this. The problem is getting this back in, because this elastic is so well made that you can't get that pack in there one-handed. So that, if you want to call that a con, to me it's not a con, because I typically, depending on the range that I'm going and the amount of time I'm going to be out, I usually carry a water bladder or an adapter for a Nalgene that you can run your drinking tube off of. So that is pretty much, let's make sure that I went over everything on the pack. I believe I did. So we'll move to the interior space that has some pretty cool features on the interior too. So I've just basically got my MMS sleep system in here just to kind of fill it out. So that's my MMS sleep system. This is not compressed. I can actually get this down to a size of a regular, I mean, it'll fit in this pocket. I can actually compress this. These compression bags on these systems are made, they're so durable. I've had this for 12 years. I bought this brand new, unissued, 15 years, might be more than 15 years. That's how long I've been using this system. But this bag is the original bag, and there hasn't been a snag or, I mean, it's crazy. This is for a different review. So I tend to get off point because I like talking about gear, and I'm really excited about the channel. And this is something that I've wanted to do for a long while, and I decided to go ahead and pull the trigger on this. So it might be kind of hard to see here on the camera. See that loop right here? So on each side of the pack, you have this gear loop at the top and the bottom, right? So what I have found, and I kind of wondered why they would put something like that, you know, in there. Honestly, I've found it to be really handy. So what I can do is I can put a carabiner on there and hang my keys. I don't like putting my keys in a pocket that I'm accessing a lot during the hike. I like to put my keys somewhere where I know that they're not going to fall out of my pack, or you know, those little keychains, they break all the time. So I'll usually put a carabiner in here and actually put them on the main compartment of my pack. Now, what this would work for are large, you know, if you're out bush crafting, and that's something else we're going to be doing on this channel. You could put a larger axe down in here, cinch this around it, and just have it sticking out. But I mean, it's a nice little feature. And like I said, it you know, if you're all about ultralight and wanting to cut weight, you could cut these out and melt the ends so they don't fray or anything, just to reduce a little bit of weight. But I've found them to be pretty handy. You know, if my large tripod, if I know I'm not going to be using it, because I have a handheld gimbal that has a tripod on it, I'll put my tripod, fold it up and put it down in there, and it just keeps it in place. So you can use your imagination on that. This does have a water bladder compartment, which will hold up to a 3-liter. I mean, it would hold more, but I think it's maybe what they say the rating on this little strap is. It's the full width of the pack. And then your little Velcro strap here to hold your bladder up. And it does have a little slip here on each side. So depending if you want it on the right or left side of your pack, your hydration hose. So down here, and I'll show you this, you have that little compartment separator here that creates your sleep system compartment, and then that will seal off and create 2 pockets in your backpack, one for your sleep system and the rest for your main body of gear there. And like I said, this is a huge compartment. This, you guys can tell how big this is. This is wider than me. This compartment, just holding it open, is, you know, half to maybe 3/4 of this. So if there was about 8 inches of this gone, this I could probably cram in there and it would zip. It's a huge compartment. This is a big backpack. And like I said, the reason I went with a 90-liter backpack is because my gear's bigger. You know, my sleep systems, they're bigger. My jackets are bigger. My shoes are bigger. Everything is big about me. Hopefully in the future, I'll remedy that. I plan on getting fitter. I plan on being in the woods a lot more. Now that I've started the channel, it's given me motivation to get fitter. I used to be fit. Me and my wife had a child. I gained baby weight. COVID hit. I gained COVID. This is what I like to blame it on, but I gained COVID weight. You know, everybody's stuck at home eating, and just haven't got motivated to lose it, but I am. So yeah, that is basically all the features of this backpack. When I bought this a year ago, I want to say it was, they had it on Amazon and of course Teton Sports .com, their website. I want to say it was a little more expensive on the website than Amazon. But I bought this off of Amazon, and I believe when I did, it was, they had it listed at $169. But there was I can't remember what the discount on it, but I think I got this for like $120 or something like that. So for that price point, that's amazing. The quality of this that you get for that price point. Now I would say, you know, for a 90-liter backpack, that's amazing. Now, I think when you get to a certain price point, you can explore a lot more options. There were a lot of options for. I was looking at Decathlon and Kelty and you know, some of the other well-known brands, but this one just had all the marks that I was trying to hit in a backpack, and I'm glad I made the decision to get this backpack. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. So yeah, that is the Teton Sports Grand 5,500 liter, or not 5,500 liter, 5,500. The 5,500 is cubic inches, but it's a 90-liter backpack. I would highly recommend it. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you agree with me, if you own this pack, let me know what you think about it, what your pros and cons are. Excuse me. Forgive the airplanes. And something, I'm sorry, it does have a handle strap for, you know, lugging it around, hanging it up. But yeah, I believe that is everything on the pack. Let me make sure that I'm not forgetting any little. I think I've hit all the points. So I just want to thank you guys for joining me today. Remember, don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Put your comments down in there. Let me know what you think about the video. Let me know what you think about the backpack. I just want to say that you know, starting this channel, I've got one video out right now. This will actually be my second video, and you know, I wasn't expecting a whole lot. I'm just a country boy from Oklahoma that likes the outdoors, and I like talking about gear, and I like the outdoors and hiking and bike packing and stuff. And you know, I think I've already got almost 300 views on this, and on my first video, and I uploaded that, I believe it was last Friday. So you know, it's been, you know, 3 days. I believe, well, today's the 4th day, I guess. But you know, that honestly, I thank you. I thank you guys that have subscribed so far. this is fun for me. I like doing it. And I'm going to continue to do it. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for joining me. This is the Okie Outdoor Gear Review. Roy signing off. Thank you.